Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for July 27th, 2008. We're looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. I'm expecting during this next session for the range to be between 108.28 and 106.60. Now, looking at this this particular pair, it's pretty much going sideways. The open of this day, the close of this day, and the open of this day are pretty much the same, pretty close. We have the highs are fairly close together here. We've run into some resistance at this point. It just doesn't really want to break the 108 resistance, and so it be looking for it to break that. If it does break that, it's definitely going to go higher. If it doesn't break that, then we could see it retrace this coming week. Now, if it does retrace, we should run into some resistance or some support at about the 106.60, 106.50 area. Should be the first place that we hit some support in this market. So not sure which way this one's going to go, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, taking a look over at the Euro USD pair, this pair came down and has hit some support areas of previous support and has made a low and then pulled back. Friday session was an up day, indicating a possible reversal for this next week, possibly going higher. Now, looking at what the range should be, or what I'm looking at the range to be this coming week, this coming session rather, be on the low side around 1.5600, and on the high side looking at 1.5750 for this next session. Now, if we do continue to go to the upside, look for some resistance to come into the market at about 157.90, possibly the 1.58 area. Now, on the downside, if we break this previous low and go lower, look for some support to come into the market at about this point, and that support level will be around 155.35. So that's an area. If we break down to the downside and break that low, that's where we should be headed. Now, switching over to the pound US dollar, this particular pair made one of my favorite patterns to look for. We have a drop in the price, made a new low for the past couple of sessions at this point. Then we turned around and had an inside day from the previous day's range, inside bar created, and it was an up day. Now, what I like in this pattern is to see a break below this point during this next session. If that occurs, then we'll look for it to push lower down to the 1.9765 area and down, and then beyond that look for 196.47 area if it pushes lower. If not, it's going to reverse and go higher, obviously. If that occurs, then we're looking to see some resistance come into the market at about 2. So that's something to be looking for. Really like this pattern. Now, when I go to trade this, do realize that I look at the break of this low, and I drop down to the 4-hour time frame and look to fill the gap between this low and the next area of support that I'm looking for, next target of support. Now, looking over at the US Swiss, I'm looking for prices to be between the 1.0440 area and on the low side 1.0310 area is where I'm looking for that. And we should see some resistance come into the market a little bit below this at the 1.0400 level. We've run into some resistance at this point, and we had a doji form on Friday, so I don't anticipate this bar or this next session breaking to the upside. Anticipate this pair moving to the downside, but of course we'll have to see. If this does occur, if it does move to the downside, I'm looking for some support to come into the market at the 1.0265 area. And then the next level to be looking for some support to come into the market would be at 1.0175. And that's what I'm looking for in this pair if it breaks to the downside. If it breaks to the upside, then we'll probably look for this area for it to move on to the 1.0450 area. Now looking at news announcements on Sunday, we have the German CPI coming out for July. It's anticipated to be a little bit lower year to date by 0.1%. There's no time given on that announcement, and the New Zealand dollar has their trade balance for June being released at 6:45 p.m. on Sunday. That's Eastern time, of course. Then on Monday, we have the Japanese releasing their retail trade for June at 7:50 p.m. on Monday. So those are some things to take a look at during the next session. So until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.